1. Justin Thomas, United States. After claiming the PGA Championship for his first major title, Thomas said he barely had a chance to celebrate because the playoffs started 2 weeks later. He's dealing with the same type of situation again because he captured the FedEx Cup, helped the United States retain the President's Cup, and was voted PGA Tour Player of the Year within the last few weeks. Thomas has made the long flight to Malaysia and this week will be trying to win the Cimb Classic for the third consecutive year. He sank a 6-foot par putt on the last hole to claim his first PGA Tour victory by one stroke over Adam Scott of Australia 2 years ago, and repeated at TPC Kuala Lumpur last October, beating Hideki Matsuyama of Japan by 2 shots. Thomas, ranked 4th in the world, has shown he can go very low on the course, shooting a tournament record 11 under par 61 in round 2 in 2016, and posting bookend 64s en route to the first of his 5 victories last year. 2. Hideki Matsuyama, Japan. Until fading late last season, Matsuyama was playing better than anyone else on the PGA Tour, leading the FedEx Cup standings most of the way thanks to 3 victories and 3 runner-up results before finishing 8th in the final point standings. He started his 201,617 season by finishing second, 3 strokes behind Justin Thomas, in the Cimb Classic, and has finished in the top 25 in all 4 of his appearances at TPC Kuala Lumpur. Matsuyama tied for 25th in Malaysia 3 years ago, followed that with a tie for 21st the following year, and finished solo 5th in 2016 before his runner-up showing last year. In 16 rounds on the West Course at Kuala Lumpur, he is a cumulative 55 under par and has failed to equal or better par only once. Matsuyama will defend his title in 2 weeks at the WGC HSBC Champions in China, and he followed that up later in his breakthrough season on the PGA Tour with victories at 3rd in the final point standings. He became the 6th multiple winner during the season, joining Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Hideki Matsuyama of Japan, and Mark Leishman of Australia. Schauffele, who is making his first appearance in the Cimb Classic, showed he will be a player to watch in the major championships after tying for 5th in the U.S. Open at Erin Hills and tying for 20th in the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale, his first 2 appearances in the Grand Slam events, before he missed the cut in the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. 5. Brendan Steele, United States. Following his second straight victory in the Safeway Classic in California, Steele hopped on a jet for the long trip to Malaysia to play in the Cimb Classic for the 4th time in 5 years. After winning at Silverado last season, he kept it going on the West Course at TPC Kuala Lumpur by starting with scores of 676,769 to head to the final round in the top 10 before running out of steam with a 73 that left him in a tie for 26th. Steele shot 8 under par 63 in the second round 2 years ago in Malaysia and was tied for the lead with eventual champion Justin Thomas entering the final round, when he shot 68 to finish 2 strokes back in a tie for 3rd. He tied for 25th in his first appearance in the tournament 3 years ago. Steele, whose only other PGA Tour victory came in the 2011 Valero Texas Open, rode his opening victory last year to his best season on the PGA Tour and missed making the 30-man field for the Tour Championship by only 3 spots. 6. Anirban Lahiri, India. With 18 victories in his career, the 30-year-old Lahiri figures to become the 2nd player from India to win on the PGA Tour, after Arjun Atwal captured the 2010 Wyndham Championship. It almost happened last year in the Memorial Tournament, when he bounced back from an opening 2 over par 74 and shot 65 in the final round to wind up 2 strokes behind Jason Dufner in a tie for 2nd. Lahiri impressed Nick Price enough that he landed a spot in the international team as a captain's pick for the President's Cup at Liberty National, where he posted a solid 111 record, including a half of his singles match with Kevin Kisner. Lahiri is back in Asia this week for his 5th appearance in the Cimb Classic, in which he held the lead a year ago after starting with 666,665 before shooting 72 in the last round to tie for 3rd, 4 strokes behind winner Justin Thomas. He does have a victory in Malaysia, in the 2015 Maybank Malaysian Open. 7. Thomas Pieters, Belgium. Considered a rising star on the European Tour with 3 victories in the last 2 seasons, the 25-year-old Pieters has decided to make the jump to the PGA Tour, and the Cimb Classic will be his first event as an official member. He played in 12 events on the U.S. Tour last season and recorded 4 finishes in the top 10, the most impressive a tie for 4th in his first trip to the Masters. The 6'5" Peters also tied for second in the Genesis Open, finished solo fourth in the WGC Bridgestone Invitational and tied for fifth in the WGC Mexico Championship. He broke through on the European Tour in 2015 by winning the Czech Masters and the KLM Open, then added to his total by claiming the 2016 Made in Denmark. Peters should make a smooth transition to playing more in the U.S. Tour since he played college golf at Illinois and captured the 2012 NCAA Individual Championship and the 2013 Big Ten Championship. This will be his debut in the Cimb Classic 8. Kevin Na, United States, seemingly heading for his third top 10 result in 5 starts after shooting 5 under par 66 in the third round of the Safeway Open. Na struggled to a 77 in the wind on Sunday in the final round and plummeted to a tie for 53rd. He was coming off a tie for 4th in the Wyndham Championship and a tie for 6th in the Dell Technologies Championship recently, and shot 63 in his final round of last season in the BMW Championship. Na hopes to get back on track in his 4th start in the Cimb Championship, which he could have won twice. 3 years ago, he was tied for the lead with eventual champion Ryan Moore heading to the final round, but closed with a 2 under par 70 to finish 3 strokes back in a tie for second. In 2015, Na posted 4 scores of 67 or better and tie for third, 2 shots behind champion Justin Thomas. He wasn't quite as good last year, when he tied for 29th, 9. Adam Hadwin, Canada, looking for more after claiming his first PGA Tour victory by 1 stroke over Patrick Cantlay in the Valspar Championship last March in a breakthrough season. Hadwin will make his first start of the new season in the Cimb Classic. He made his first trip to TPC Kuala Lumpur last season and recorded a very respectable tie for 21st by playing the middle rounds in 6,967. Hadwin, who has 12 pro victories including 2 on the Web.com Tour and 2 more on the Canadian Tour, came close again last year when he finished solo second in the Career Builder Challenge. He also tied for 5th in the WGC Bridgestone Invitational, finished 6th in the Arnold Palmer Invitational and tied for 10th in the Ole Classic at Mayakoba. Hadwin, who earned his PGA Tour card when he led the 2013 Web.com Tour Money list, made it all the way to the Tour Championship for the first time last month, and finished 23rd to wind up 26th in the FedEx Cup standings. 10. Gary Woodland, United States. Even though he hasn't won on the PGA Tour since 2013, it's not for lack of effort, because Woodland has finished second on 7 occasions since. 2 of those runner-up results came in this week's tournament, the Cimb Classic, in which Ryan Moore beat him out both times. 3 years ago, Moore bested him with a birdie on the first playoff hole, and a year later Woodland tied for second, 3 strokes back. Last season, the long-hitting Woodland finished second in the Ole Classic at Mayakoba and tied for second in the Honda Classic among 5 top 10 results and 9 in the top 25, which carried him all the way to the Tour Championship. He finished solo 19th at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta and wound up 28th in the final FedEx Cup standings. Woodland's 2 PGA Tour victories came in the 2011 Transitions Championship and the 2013 Renault Tahoe Open, and his most impressive runner-up result was losing to Rory McIlroy, 4-2, in the final of the 2015 WGC Match Play Championship.